You're listening to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation.
Hello there.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. This is a big week for Star Wars fans because Star Wars Celebration Anaheim is on the horizon and none of us are going. Woo! It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah.
But we are still
None of us go in.
We are still here. We're going to be doing a celebration preview, and we are, of course, going to be continuing our Clone Wars rewatch. We are talking about the Domino Squad episodes this week, Clone Cadets and Rookies. It's going to be a really fun one. I am one of your hosts, as always, Andrew. I am joined once again by Don and Connor. How are you guys today?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short. I had hernia surgery literally the day of last Monday.
Ooh.
So that's fun. I'm doing a lot better now, but like, dude, at time of record, we're recording on Monday, May 23rd. 4 days until Kenobi. 4 days until Kenobi,
4 days.
and 3 days until Celebration. Like,
I am so unbelievably hyped.
week
This is
for Star Wars. What a week.
This
I'm
is gonna
so
be a
excited.
Great one.
The hype is
Two
very
episodes
real.
too. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing about this. Like, we're getting the first 2 episodes during Celebration, and then like almost everyone else is gonna fly back from California. They're gonna start getting back into their work week on Tuesday, on Monday and Tuesday, and then bam! Before we even know it, we're already halfway through this show with the next episode. Like, that's wild to think about.
Have they said that the
insane.
rest of the episodes are going to be releasing on Wednesdays or Fridays yet?
Oh yeah, they said they're releasing on
They're
Wednesdays.
releasing on Wednesday. So why the Friday? Like,
I don't know. I assume Celebration or something.
I just
Yeah.
remember because when I knew I wasn't going to be able to go. So long story short, for those who haven't heard, I had tickets. I still have tickets. I've had them since 2019. I was not able to transfer them or sell them in time, so they're just sitting on my my dresser right now, which is just very depressing. But I at least have the badges. I could pretend I went. But when I knew, because I have another vacation schedule, which we've talked about, Connor and I might be meeting up, rain pending, to watch some of those episodes. But I took that Wednesday off because I was like, okay, I'm leaving Thursday, but I'm going to take that Wednesday off because I'm just going to watch Kenobi. I'm going to record whatever recaps I need to record, whatever social media I want to do for this. And then, like, literally 2 days later, they announced, all right, yeah, we're moving the premiere to Friday. I'm like, great. All right, well, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch them on the vacation, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But I'm very excited for that show. That is literally my dream. Like, I've been waiting my whole life as a Star Wars fan for this show, so I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to see Ewan and Hayden back in their roles again. It's going to be beautiful. A little housekeeping off the bat. We're going to be starting with our Celebration preview and then diving into Clone Wars. But a couple things dropped related to our podcast. First, earlier in the week, we dropped our Queen's Hope book discussion. I had David, the Star Wars historian, on with us. It was a absolute great discussion. If you have not listened to that one yet, we talk about a lot, not just the book, but a lot of stuff related to the fandom and a little teases at Brotherhood, which I'm only about 7 chapters in right now, but it is so good, and I am just so shocked at how well Mike Chen writes these characters. I want him to write every Star Wars book in this era going forward. He's just the best. But the other thing we announced is I announced on our Twitter yesterday that we were going to be doing some Obi-Wan Kenobi coverage, and my friend Chloe, aka Lightsaber Queen, is joining us for those recaps. It was great to see the positive response to that announcement. We've already got quite a few new followers just from the announcement, so if you're joining us for the first time, hello. Hope you like what you're hearing. Hope you stick with us. We're really excited for what we have coming forward for that. It's going to be a great time. They're probably going to be releasing weekends for the exception of the first week because I will be out of town and will not be able to record. So you can probably expect the episode 1 and 2 recaps to drop probably Tuesday, is my guess, because I'll probably want to record them literally as soon as I'm getting off the plane on Monday or Tuesday morning. And then they'll be going... Well, if they're releasing Wednesdays, they'll probably be releasing on Thursdays or Fridays, is my guess. But I'm still trying to figure that out. But it'll be a fun time, and I cannot wait. I'm sure we'll all be involved in some way, shape, or form throughout this. Another thing is, it's once again just 3 of us. Jake is not here again today. The poor bastard's got to work. But he was like, yeah, I'll be back next episode. Guys, sorry, nope, can't. I'm like, well, but we will make sure he is here for our next episode, because our next episode, whether or not we call it an episode of the show proper or not, is going to be our celebration recap, which we're going to be talking about. Everything that we're previewing here, we're going to be talking about it after we see it and know all the big news, and that's going to be just an absolute blast to record, and we'll make sure all 4 of us are there for that one, because we're going to have a lot to talk about. Aside from that, I think we should just dive right in. The only other thing is, last week was the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary, which I know Connor celebrated. I know I've been celebrating, and for anyone that is going to Celebration, that is lucky enough to be there, if you could please get me that 20th anniversary Attack of the Clones tee, I will love you forever. And that's all I have to say. But let's dive into our preview. We're just going to be going through some panels that stick out to us. The beauty about Celebration is that there are so many panels, big and small. And that is the one thing I am very bummed about not being there this year, is I'm not going to be able to experience the panels that don't get live streamed. Whether that be some of the ones like the ones that went over like concept design or music. I know David W. Collins and Doug Chang did some amazing ones in Chicago last Celebration, which were some of my absolute highlights. But also the fan-created panels, whether those be the podcast ones or fan panels, they're all just great times. And when I went both for the Orlando and the Chicago Celebration, they were absolute delights. But the big panel for Thursday morning on the Celebration stage is the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. It says Star Wars Celebration returns, launching with a must-see showcase that will kick the weekend's festivities into hyperdrive. Lucasfilm's current crop of live-action filmmakers will be joined by special guests to discuss the many Star Wars adventures coming soon, including Obi-Wan, Andor, and The Mandalorian. So, this is probably where we're going to be getting a lot of our TV news. You gotta wonder, because they're going to be talking Obi-Wan, and I'm assuming that, I mean, Deborah Chow is definitely going to be there as my guess, but I'm assuming someone's going to pop up. And considering this is the day before the first episode drops, how tight-lipped do you think they got it? They're got to be like sweating bullets, like, to not spoil anything.
Okay, honestly, like, I'm just gonna go through my entire predictions for the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase at this point. But like, when it comes, okay, I'll just go through all the shows. So Obi-Wan, for Obi-Wan, I just think they're just not gonna even like talk about it that much. They're like, oh yeah, it's coming up, literally tomorrow. Here's Deborah to talk about it a bit more. And it's like, dude, she's already talked about it like at length as much as she freaking can. So like, I just don't think there's not going to be that much to it. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, Obi-Wan's coming. Move on. It's coming tomorrow. Let's go. And then like Andor, we're getting a trailer. Like, come on. You're like, dude, bruh, we're getting a trailer for Andor. I seriously think we are. I think we're going to get a trailer for Andor. For Mando, I think they're going to touch on it, but then it's just going to be like, it's just like, I think for Mando and Ahsoka, they're just gonna be like, we're gonna find out a bit more about what the story of Ahsoka is, but like, nothing really.
Do you think we
other
get
than that
casting news or anything like that, or an Ezra?
I think we'll get. That's Don and I were talking in the pre-show. I think we could get Thrawn casts. find out who is who in this show, like what characters are playing who. And then Mando season 3, I'm thinking they're gonna save all of that. They're gonna like touch on it and then just save the rest of it for the Mando Plus panel. Because I feel like we're gonna get a logo and a trailer.
Yeah.
At the Mando Plus?
Yeah, the Mando
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Let's see. I think we're gonna get updates on Droid Story and the Lando show. Hopefully.
I hope it's not that they're scrapped.
Yeah, same.
Because I think those are going to be so fun.
Agreed.
But the Kathleen Kennedy interview from Vanity Fair makes me very worried that they're just going to be like, yeah, Donald Glover, no one wants to see that. And I'll be like, you are very wrong. But
no, I don't think she'll say that.
I
she's
hope
not.
I think they've made it clear that the show is still happening, but it's down the line. Do you think we're gonna get any Acolyte news? Or
I think we're gonna get some, like, just a bit more about like who the characters could be, a bit more about the era. For for casual fans that'll be nice, but for us it'll be just a good reminder.
Is it, because this is just an ignorant question of mine, is this the only panel of the whole weekend that Andor is going to be talked about? Is the studio showcase?
Probably.
I think so, yeah. Because
Okay.
like
There's
every
nothing
other,
else in the schedule.
Then in
really...
that case, I do agree with you that I think we'll get a trailer, because they're sticking with that late summer release date. We know it's shot, and I just think it's. I mean, we've had like a sizzle reel they dropped like over a year ago at this point. But I think we're definitely
just
gonna
like,
get
come on, we need footage, man.
We're gonna get some story beats, maybe announce some original characters, because we know Mon Mothma and we know Cassian. I'm very excited to see what is going on here.
I think on the film side of news, we're gonna definitely find out what Taika's film is. Like, we're probably gonna get a title reveal and a logo. Feige's movie is the interesting one to me, because like, I could see Feige himself showing up and coming out and being like, yeah, this is gonna be, I'm producing a Star Wars movie. This is the writer, who we pretty much know will be Michael Waldron. It just will be officially revealed. Yeah. And then like, this is who's directing it. And then like, that's about it. Like, I don't know if like, there's not going to be a title yet or anything.
Could still be Chloe Zhao.
That would be insane. That would be such a misdirect. I'd like it. I have to see
Marvel
Eternals.
are known for their misdirects, for sure.
I still need to watch Eternals, but I'll get to it in like 5 years.
Real quick, I just want to point out, because the Vanity Fair article came out last week, which we're not really going to be talking about, but I do want to point out one thing that came out there, because it might get talked about here. I am actually bummed that Grammar Rodeo show isn't going to be a High Republic series. I actually don't.
That's the other show.
I actually don't like that it's taking place in like the Mando timeline. I think that's becoming the new in between episode 3 and 4. Like, it's so overdone at this point. But the beauty is that there's like,
it's made by John Watts.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
there's so much.
That's the thing that really
that they can discuss. But the 5 years after Jedi, I'm just, let's go somewhere else. But
I wonder if it'll be like even further down. I don't know, but like that's the other show.
Filming soon. Like, I think they said June.
I think apparently. I mean, we're gonna find out officially.
Find out. I think we'll get a title, and I think we'll. I don't know about a release date, but we'll get casting news.
Yeah,
maybe they bring. I forgot
that's the show. I think we're also gonna get.
My guess is it's a Luke's Jedi Academy series.
That's my guess too.
We'll get a young Ben Solo. I don't know, but
what else?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think, and then like my bold prediction for the studio showcase is we're gonna get a new movie announcement or new show announcement that like none of us
know
could have seen coming. Like, none that were even rumored.
See, my big thing that sticks out is they still have something scheduled for the December 2023 release date that has not been pulled yet. I know they said that Rogue Squadron has been kind of pushed back a bit, so we know it's not going to be that. But have they been shooting something that we don't know about? Like, that's my question.
That's the thing. Like, if they have, damn.
That's
like,
what a way to
do that.
start.
Do that for the movies from now on. Because I like that surprise. Like, that's why Rogue Squadron, I really hope it gets made. Because that was legitimately the only thing, for some reason, during the Disney Plus Investors Day in November 2020? Or is it 2021?
2020, because it was Gina Carano hadn't been fired yet, because they announced.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was when apparently a show led by her was supposed to be announced, but then Lucasfilm was like, nope. Rogue Squadron being announced was the one announcement at that part of the panel, at that part of the stream, that really knocked my socks off. Like, I was shocked.
Same.
So I really hope this gets made. So, like, if they give us a Rogue Squadron style reveal where it's like, yeah, we're going to announce a movie and a concept that, like, you just didn't even think about. And it's just like, bro, what? Like, that would excite the hell out of me.
Even if it's
I'm going to be at
smaller.
work during that panel. Yeah. And I'm so mad.
I think I'll be in the airport during that panel. So I'll at least have something to watch. But
I'm just gonna get updates on Twitter or whatever. And I'm going to be so mad. I don't know. I'll have to restrain myself, like, fully from actually looking at my phone for quote unquote spoilers. But like, movie wise, my bold prediction is we're gonna get a new movie announcement, and it's just gonna be like, what the fuck. In terms of TV shows, I think we're definitely gonna get another, more other announcements, like maybe another animated show or maybe another live action show or both. I'm down with both. Give me both. Give me all the Star Wars.
I know what Jake would love. Jake would love Resistance Season 3.
I still need to watch Season 2. And like, it's not because like, oh, I hate Resistance. I actually really liked it. It's definitely a little wackier for my taste, but like, I still liked Season 1. I just need to get around to Season 2.
I watched like one episode of Resistance, but I'm still wanting to like get onto it because I liked what I saw.
I think
if I could like add a bold prediction, it would. So Connor said about like his bold prediction being a new movie. I'm gonna take it one step further. My bold prediction will be at the very end they'll bring Daisy Ridley on and announce a new Jedi Order. They'll either bring Daisy Ridley or John Boyega on stage, and they'll either announce a new Jedi Order film, because I've heard the rumors, or a Finn Disney Plus show, because both of those have been rumored.
I'm gonna cry if that happens,
bro. If I get to see Rey in Star Wars again, I will lose my mind.
I was gonna say post Rise of Skywalker animated series, but if it's like a live action film.
I would die. I would descend.
I could see it happening. And I don't think J.J. Abrams would be back to direct. I think J.J. Abrams would be announced as like a producer, and they'd have like another director, probably like an up and comer, or like someone who's like just an orthodox choice, kind of like how Rian Johnson was. But yeah, I feel like that's very possible. Either that, or like, I mean, my other like more conservative guess would be like they announced Book of Boba Fett season 2, because that's been
another thing. Yeah, I wonder if that will happen. And then the other thing I have is, so in terms of what will happen with Jedi Survivor, in terms of like what happens with it at Celebration, my two guesses are A, we find out stuff about it at the studio showcase. But, like, obviously that's probably not going to be the case because it's live-action filmmakers and it's a video game. So, this isn't my idea, but a friend of mine said that maybe he could see where they cut to the Celebration live team or something, and they have, like, Cameron Monaghan or Vince Impala or Stig Asmussen or whatever, or a creative on that team where they talk about it a bit and they show a teaser. And if they show a teaser, I'm inconsolable. I'm just going to die.
Yeah, like they show a teaser and then it either reveals Maul or Starkiller, and then Sam Witwer comes onto the stage to talk.
I don't see Starkiller. I could see Maul kind of, but like I
Like
don't know.
Inquisitor
I want
Starkiller.
that. I would love to find. I would love if we got information about that game at Celebration, considering it's coming out in like
Oh, same.
next year.
Very hyped for Jedi Survivor, especially with the title. The story implications just of the title alone, they're fascinating to me.
What
And
else? High Republic. Ooh, okay.
Public,
Bold prediction
So
for
there's-
High Republic.
I was going to say there's a Lucasfilm publishing panel at 1 that I wanted to briefly bring up that I guarantee you there'll be High Republic announcements there. But are you?
Oh no. I think
series?
we're gonna get High Republic announcements at the High Republic panel.
No, they say that. They stress that in the High Republic for Light and Life rundown on the site. They say yes, that includes all new announcements and reveals from Phase 2 Quest of the Jedi. So we're gonna get some announcements. We'll probably get like more reveals of like what the Phase 1 writers are working on, like Cavan Scott and Claudia Gray and Charles Soule. You know, like we'll get some of that, and we'll also maybe find out some more about like what these new editions are like. The new edition writers are like talking about, which is really fun. Like it'll be cool to like get more of more information on that era, and like to, I mean, maybe there's like a crazy reveal of like, oh, we're bringing this element of Star Wars in, like because you know, like Mandalorians maybe, or like the Sith, or maybe expanding on like ideas in. I mean, I
do
personally
not see the Sith coming into.
would love to find that to learn more about the Talotai. Because I know they're Old Republic, but you know, ever since Cavan Scott introduced them reintroduced them rather in the Rising Storm, I've just been fascinated with that race. I think they're really interesting.
Yeah, I truly do not think that the Sith will be touched. And if I eat my words, I eat my words.
Probably not until Acolyte.
Yeah, not until Acolyte. I just don't see them being touched, at least in the publishing side. Yeah, I was going to say, like, my bold prediction was going to be, like, for the High Republic, was they were going to announce, like, an animated show or whatever. My ideal bold prediction would be the High Republic video game. So, like, Star Wars Jedi High Republic or whatever by Respawn. And I would just die.
Oh, like a game that isn't, like
dude, if you gave me a Fallen Order
studio.
If you gave me a High Republic Fallen Order game, I would just die right on the spot. I would just stay.
Absolutely.
Like Cause of Death, announcement of the High Republic Fallen Order video game.
And then your Force Ghost comes back to play the game.
And then I would just be like, nah, I can't do it. I'll be like, nah, I can't do this. I gotta play it.
I gotta play a game, sorry. Have we touched on everything in the studio showcase, or is there anything else we want to say?
That's all I could think of.
All right, so
I pretty much, yeah. Like, I mean, the only other thing I was going to add was that, like, regarding the shows, is that, yeah, I think we'll probably get some casting announcements. I mean, I was talking with Connor before about, like, I mean, my personal prediction is that we'll see Mary Elizabeth Winstead get revealed as, like, Hera, or at least find out who she's playing. I kind of get a feeling that she's Hera. I don't know why, but I've got a good feeling about it.
Dumbass prediction is she's Barriss.
I would love that as well.
I don't know if it will happen, but like Dave has said, her story's not over, and it's like she's got to appear in this. Okay,
yes,
not she's got to appear in this show, but like this would feel kind of privy for him to put her in this show if he does. That's just my dumbass like, oh, I wish this could happen prediction.
I would love Barriss to appear. I've been fascinated with that character. Lucasfilm, give me the money. I will write you a Barriss Offee novel. I'm that interested in the character.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The Lucasfilm publishing panel. So I feel like okay. So it looks like this is novels.
The panel's going to be wild.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to be getting a couple book announcements. Because what do we know that's coming out? There's Padawan, like not counting High Republic. Is Padawan the only one we know, and then Shadow of the Sith? Or am I missing one?
Yeah.
So we'll probably get. Well, I think we'll definitely get stuff about those.
Oh, Princess and the Scoundrel.
Princess and the Scoundrel. I totally forgot.
And
then we'll
I think
probably
that's
get.
it.
We'll probably get a bunch of book reveals, which I'm
Maybe
very
Which is going to
excited
be
about.
nuts.
Maybe another book about Ahsoka, like what she was doing during the original trilogy. Maybe they could maybe do that. Like I kind of feel like we'll get hopefully a novel about like one of the TV show characters, because I feel like that's an element that would be best explored in like
Yeah,
book
because
form. I
remember,
think.
there was going to be a Mando book, and then they scrapped it.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I don't remember, was it because Adam Christopher, who was writing Shadow of the Sith, I believe was writing the Mando book,
He was supposed to write that, and it seems like
and then they
Lucasfilm
gave
went with
him.
the right choice with him for him writing Shadow of the Sith, because like from what I've read and what I've heard, because it's gonna be a while, so I don't know. I don't really care about spoilers, but I obviously won't spoil it here for you guys and for the listeners. But like from what I've heard, it's gonna be a banger. It sounds like it's gonna be a banger book.
Can we just talk about how good the publishing has been this year alone? Like,
Dude, Star Wars
Brotherhood,
publishing,
Fallen
like,
Star, Midnight Horizon, Queen's Hope wasn't great, but it was still very enjoyable. And now everything else looks absolutely great. And
I cannot wait for the publishing. That's
gonna
on
be so
Thursday
good.
too, right?
That is Thursday at 1. Thursday,
Gosh,
Lucasfilm
darn it.
1 to 2. So
Of course, I'm missing all the really good panels at work.
I think we'll get some good stuff, and I am really looking forward to that one. And then at 3 o'clock, we have the High Republic for Light and Life, which we have Christina Ariel is going to be there, and then let's see who else. Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Older, Kevin Scott, and Charles Salt, along with Lucasfilm's James, I'm going to butcher that, Wow, and Michael Sigling for an in-depth
I think it's
conversation.
James Waugh.
Probably.
I think.
Probably. For
Yeah,
an in-depth
James Waugh and
conversation
Michael Siglain.
about the golden age of the Jedi, including all new announcements and reveals from Phase 2 Quest of the Jedi. Okay, so they say right there all new announcements. So, this one is going to be so much fun. If anyone wants to take the rails for this one, go right ahead, because I don't even know what they'll talk about.
I don't even know what to say, like, beyond what they... Like, I can't even think of what they could announce, because every announcement that they've made with the High Republic, like, it always makes sense in hindsight, but at the time, I'm like, that's freaking sick.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I could say, like, oh, my bonkers prediction is this, and High Republic be like, yeah, let's go more. It's like, I don't know. Christina, I don't know. Bonkers prediction. Christina gets to be a character in a Phase 2 High Republic story or something. I have no idea.
Oh, that would be really cool.
There's my prediction. Christina, if you're listening, probably not, but hopefully you do. Yeah. I'm supporting you becoming an actual Jedi character someday in in an actual Star Wars story.
She has the Jedi robes.
She does.
She does have the robes.
We'll probably get the announcement of the main adult novel, or have we already gotten that for the first wave of Phase 2?
We have. I can't remember. It's been so long.
We'll probably get more content about it, at least, because I know Convergence is the only one we've gotten a cover for. So I feel like we'll definitely get that, because Phase 2 launches in September? So I think we'll...
this is my conservative... This is my very safe prediction. Kevin Scott's Phase 2 High Republic comic run is going to focus on Skier. That's my theory. And I have a theory for how it's all going to connect in Phase 3, because Skier was Keeve's master. He gets his own thing in Phase 2. Whatever stories he gets in Phase 2 will thematically connect to Keeve's story in Phase 3, and it will emotionally destroy every single one of us. Pain. It's the Kevin Scott specialty, boys.
He's very good at that. That's for sure.
Pity Jake's not here for that moment.
Yeah.
And Jake, yes.
Yes.
Go read his stories at sweditorig.com.
Yeah.
When they come out.
When they come out.
They haven't come out yet, but they will.
He likes the pain, that's for sure.
He does.
But yeah, that one is going to be... the publishing and the High Republic one are going to be like the 1-2 punch of... We're going to get so much good stuff. We're going to be feasting. And this is just the first day. It's a whole weekend. Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary celebration. I can't wait for this one. I really hope they live stream this one. The Phantom Menace one was so much fun, filled with so many great moments. Ahmed Best got a standing ovation, which was beautiful.
The thing that would knock my socks off with the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary panel would be if Natalie Portman shows up.
Dude,
That would destroy me.
Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen together, and the
And Ewan.
standing applause they would and the standing applause they'd all get. That would be great.
No, actually no. Natalie and George.
That would be
If George shows up to Celebration again, I will lose it.
Yeah,
that would be great.
I am so. That will be so great. I really hope it happens, but I think we'll get a lot of nice moments. Those panels are usually very fun, and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and the stories. I can't wait to watch that one. It's gonna be great, especially just having just watched the movie again last week. It's very fresh on my mind, and these panels, a lot of the Phantom Menace panels at Chicago really made me love and appreciate that movie more than I already did. It really reinvigorated and made me enjoy the movie in ways that I hadn't before. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen for Attack of the Clones. And I just wish I was there. Because it's just being at Celebration is a whole different feeling, and I'm really hoping that we all have the opportunity to be there for the next one and bring For the Republic to the Celebration experience, because it's a beautiful thing. Saturday, Mando Plus, a conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. This is probably, like we said earlier, this is probably where we're going to be getting a lot of the Mando Season 3 content here, and maybe another spin-off or something. We already kind of talked about this, but I think we'll be getting our Mando Season 3 preview or trailer or whatever, or behind-the-scenes sizzle reel. We'll definitely be getting something, because they've been filming it, or at least I think they're done filming it at this point, but it's been in production for a while. And that one is going to be one of the big ones on Saturday. And I think we're going to be getting some good announcements.
Yeah, it says there's a look ahead at what's to come, so most certainly sizzle reel is my best guess, and then they even have special guests there, so possibly Pedro Pascal makes a surprise appearance, but it could also be like new directors for season 3 that they reveal, maybe. My new go for broke take is that George Lucas comes in and directs an episode of The Mandalorian.
Oh, that will be. I think that might steal the weekend.
That would be great.
My big dark horse shot in the dark reveal that we get this weekend is Bryce Dallas Howard gets either a movie or a show. Whether that be the secret movie that we hinted at earlier, or this. I really hope it happens, because everything that she has touched has been some of the best Star Wars ever in my mind, and I just very much want her to get something in this universe, because she very much deserves it. Deborah Chow got Obi-Wan because she was just unbelievable in Mando Season 1, and I think Bryce Dallas Howard deserves the same treatment, because I've been very impressed with every single episode she's done. The Heiress is my favorite episode of The Mandalorian. The Return of the Mandalorian I thought was great television. Whether or not it was a great Book of Boba Fett episode or not is debatable, but a great Star Wars television episode it certainly was. So I need Bryce to get something, and it would just be great, because her father had a Star Wars movie, and if she got one of her own, that would just be a really great story. Tales of the Jedi at 2:30. We've talked about, we did our speculation for this last week. I'm hoping that we at least get some announcements of the filmmakers that are going to be working on it, and hopefully some announcements of some of the stories we can expect. And if it's coming this year, I gotta imagine a trailer. Like I just
Yeah.
because we had a Clone Wars trailer at Chicago, and that was a year out from when it was actually releasing. So that would be great. Now, what would be even more insane, and I think there's a very strong possibility we get this for Bad Batch, and potentially this as well, because it happened with the Rebels Season 4 panel in Orlando. It happened with the Resistance Season 2 panel in Chicago. I think for Bad Batch, we're going to get the first episode is going to be screened at Celebration for the people that are there.
Oh wow, that would be kind of cool.
And I think there's a very strong chance it happens because I saw they did that for season 2 of Resistance, and that episode didn't drop until October, I believe. And I saw it in
Wow.
April. So it's very possible we get that for Bad Batch. Whether or not we get it for Tales of the Jedi, I'm not entirely sure because I don't know how far out they are in development. But I think it's possible they stop the Bad Batch panel, and then for the people in the audience, they're like, all right, so who wants to see an episode? Which I was really hoping we had that for Clone Wars, but we didn't. But we did get that for Resistance last time I was at Celebration, which was awesome. And we got that for Rebels too, which was weird because my friend and I, when we went to Celebration, we went to that Rebels panel, but we hadn't seen the show at that point. So I think we caught the very end of the panel and then walked in on the episode premiere, and we are like, oh shit, what is this? And then we just got absolutely hooked into that episode, and we watched a couple more that week, which was just a great time, was getting to fall in love with an area of Star Wars that we hadn't experienced before, which is the beauty of conventions like this, is that you get to meet and embrace people and areas of the franchise that you just either were not super into it before or just hadn't experienced before. It's just, I definitely recommend going, everyone that's a Star Wars fan, going to at least one Celebration in your life, because it's the most fun time ever. The Bad Batch Season 2 panel, Sunday at 11. We're going to have Strapping Kid, you're not going to want to miss this view. Join host David Collins as he invites Star Wars The Bad Batch executive producer and supervising director Brad Rao, executive producer and head writer Jen Corbett, story editor Connor's guy. How do you pronounce his name again, Matt? What is it?
Matt Miknovitz.
There you go, your guy. Actors D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Eng to discuss highlights from the first season of the acclaimed series, as well as some exciting hints of what's to come in season 2. Please, let's get a release date. Maybe a tease the first episode, like I said. I need more Bad Batch in my life. It is. Yeah. I had such a great time with that first season, and I just want some more. Please. I need more of Crosshair's story in my life, and I think there's so much you can do with season 2, and I'm very much excited to see where this story goes with Clone Force 99, and I will very much be waiting for that. We have a look back at Star Wars Visions panel on Sunday, so maybe that's where we get the rumored season 2 announcement, or maybe this is just talking about the absolute best of season 1. Either
which
or,
is like the entire thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Every single short is just a winner in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, for sure. It's a bid for like creative. It's each episode demonstrates real creativity from all the people involved. I was really impressed with the Visions.
Yeah, I love Visions. Wonderful World of Wookiees. We'll have Jonas Swadamo on there with Amy Ratcliffe. That is going to be hopefully very charming. Because I mean, who doesn't love Wookiees? Like, really? Like,
oh, and Charles Soule's there as well.
Oh, are we gonna get Charles Soule announcing a Buryaga comic? Please.
That would be insane. That would be nuts.
That would be cool.
He's writing his own. He's writing his own Star Wars saga, the Wookiee saga.
Dude.
Yeah. It's been a long time in the making.
We have a Siege of Mandalore screening at 1, which I wish I was there for that.
My prediction for that, it's gonna be cut up like a movie. There's no way.
I hope that's the case, and I really hope that they release that cut on Disney Plus, and they release it like as its own movie, because I'm telling you, it would be very high in my rankings if they did that. So
Same. It
I
might be my favorite.
there's a strong chance it is for me too. 'Cause the Siege of Mandalore is just so great. And
I
when we
actually haven't rewatched it ever since it came out.
I rewatched it
But I'm
once, but even then that was like over a year ago at this point. But I just remember like the watching that as it came out was it was so unbelievable. Like there wasn't really anything like it was getting Star Wars like that because season 7 was really fun, but then that was a whole new like a whole new experience.
Experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
I kind of get the feeling that it was supposed to be like when the show first aired on Disney Plus that was meant to be like a feature film event because the way it's cut, the way it opens with the classic Lucasfilm logo and the John Williams style fanfare, it feels like they set it up to be a feature film event that would release in theaters, but then obviously COVID kind of messed all that up. It would be so this would be a kind of a cool way of like rectifying that. So I absolutely think it'll be cut as a movie for the celebration screening.
Yeah. My original thing I pitched when we were still in all the lockdowns and theaters were shut down, I was saying Lucasfilm should do like a special theatrical cut of the Siege of Mandalore and have that be like one of the first things they release when movie theaters open back up. Have it be like a nice event. And that didn't end up happening, but I think we're going to get something very similar here, which, again, I wish I was in the room for that because that just sounds
same.
lovely. And those fan screenings are always just a blast. And I've never been to a celebration screening before, aside from, like I said, the Resistance thing, but I'm not really counting that because it was a surprise. But like actually getting there and like watching a whole movie. I'm shocked they're not doing one for Attack of the Clones, honestly. Someone's probably doing something, but it's not listed on the panel list. But that Siege is gonna be so fun. I wish I was there for it.
I wish I could
then-
like see the Maul Ahsoka duel in like a cinema surround screen thing. That would be so
God,
good.
Please.
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to everything that happens this weekend. I think it just being able to watch it on my phone or on my computer while I'm out of town, and then just catching up and literally having Twitter open the whole weekend just for updates, constant updates. It's going to be great, and we will be back here next week for our celebration post-show recap, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking about all the hopefully big announcements and fun reveals and fun moments that we had from the convention. It's going to be great. Even though I'm watching it at a distance this year, it's going to be a special time. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done yet because we have some Clone Wars to discuss. We're going to be talking Domino Squad. It's going to be a fun time. All right, welcome back to For the Republic. We are now here to talk about this week's episode of the Clone Wars. We're going to be talking the Domino Squad arcs. We've got Clone Cadets and we have Rookies. Clone Cadets took place earlier chronologically. We did say a couple weeks back that we were going to save our discussion of Clone Cadets for this week's episode because we think it's going to pair well with Rookies. I was debating, and Don and I had this conversation, I was debating including ARC Troopers here because it is the sequel to Rookies, and it is that aired back-to-back with Clone Cadets as an hour-long premiere. But I just think we should save that for when we get there in the timeline because it is a bit further in to the story, and it is, like I said, it does take place in season 3. So I feel like it'll be better to do that there and when we have more time with the clones that we focus on in this episode. But we're starting with Clone Cadets. This one is directed by Dave Filoni, written by Cameron Litvak. The moral is brothers in arms are brothers for life. It is the prequel episode to Rookies. It discusses the training of Domino Squad as cadets. We get introduced to them for the first time chronologically. Fives, Echo, Droid Bait, Heavy, and Cut Up. Guys, I've talked about how some of these arcs I either have revisited for the first time in a long time or were just not ones that I have revisited a lot. The opposite is true for this arc. I watched these quite a bit, and there's some of my favorite Clone Wars episodes ever, if I'm being honest. So I am so excited to discuss these ones because I love Domino Squad. Fives and Echo in particular are just two of my favorite clones of all time, and these episodes are just so good to me. I love them.
Same.
Yeah.
I grew up with Rookies because like obviously it's in season 1 of Clone Wars. So I have more of an affinity for Rookies than I do Clone Cadets, but like these two episodes work really well
They work
together.
really well together. Like, and they're both like great stories for a different reason. Like Clone Cadets is a great story of like getting to see the team like develop and grow as the episode goes on. Getting to see, their different issues that they have working together also affect their personalities. And the moment where at the end they finally pass the test is such a great Star Wars moment. And I love it. And then Rookies to me is just a defining all-time great Star Wars story. The one thing that I do love, there are two things that really popped out. One, after hearing the weird season 1 Clone Wars fanfare the past couple episodes, because this one took place in season 3, it was great to hear the original one again. It really got me pumped. And I loved how you could tell that this was so early in the timeline because in the opening narration, they only showed clips from the Clone Wars movie. And I thought that was a really nice touch of only seeing, the very beginning of the war. I loved it. I also really love the Camino, the combat simulator rooms. All of this gave me just Bad Batch vibes. And it's not just because there are like 8 times in the episode where they go, we're just a bad batch. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Dave. Like, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah, it was so clear. The first when 99 is referred to as like a bad batcher, I was like, oh, were they thinking about it here? Were Dave and George already kind of putting the concept together by the time of this series? And then they just have Heavy say, oh, we're a bad batch, and I'm like, yeah, they were definitely working on that. And it's really cool to kind of see the threads begin here and especially through 99.
Yeah.
99,
Totally
one of the
99,
best
I
clones,
love 99 so much.
He's so heartwarming. I think what I appreciated even more upon like revisiting this episode is seeing the design and also the way D. Bradley Baker voiced him particularly, because his speech patterns were very different. He kind of reminded me of the actor who voiced Quasimodo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, because he speaks he's very shy, he's very reserved, but he's got a big heart. He cares about all his brothers. And it's really heartwarming because he never got his chance to be on the battlefield, to serve his purpose, basically, because most of them see that as their purpose, to fight in the Clone Wars. And he's a really sweet character because like he never got his shot, but so he wants all of his other brothers to have that shot, to make it there, and to be a success as warriors. Which is why I think he's got such an affinity with Domino Squad, because they're the kind of unorthodox team. They're the ones who aren't quite measuring up compared to like other squads like Bravo Squad, as we see. Bravo for Bravo Squad.
Yeah. And there's a specific combo near the end of the episode with 99 and Heavy, which it's such a great moment. And
I think I know what moment you're talking about. I don't know.
It's one of those clone moments that I just always go back to. But in this early combat scene, we get a brief glimpse of how every clone is. Echo constantly repeating stuff. I love that pure cinnamon roll with all of my life. Fives is my favorite non-Rex clone, so getting to see Fives, I really popped for. Cut Up, who has the best clone voice of all time. I'm just gonna say it right here and now.
He has a great voice.
The accent is beautiful. I love it so much.
it's so random that he has an Irish accent,
just
but I
like-
love it.
I'm like,
It's great.
Okay, this clone's got an Irish accent for some reason, and D. Bradley Baker does it tremendously. I love it so much.
It's
Droid
brilliant.
Bait is my favorite. It's one of the best clone names ever. Droid Bait. It's beautiful, and kind of foreshadowing, but we'll
Unfortunately.
we'll get to that when we get to that. And then Heavy
Oh,
is
absolutely.
the guy. But also, I loved seeing Shakti, because we really only get to see her
Yes.
in these Camino episodes during the Clone Wars. But it's not only just my love for the Togruta species, but just Shakti. I've always loved her. It's partially for two reasons. It's partially, one, because of the original Lego Star Wars game, and two, because of when I first watched Revenge of the Sith as a kid, and all the deleted scenes of like Shakti dying like 6 different times, and then none of them made it into the actual movie itself. So she was always just kind of like that one character where I'm like, oh, there's so much lore surrounding her. And then I remember she like died in Force Unleashed too. And I think that the canon death now for her is she's killed in the temple by Anakin. But I've always just loved Shakti, and I love the voice that they chose to give her in the show as well.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah, Tasia Valenza does a really strong, makes a really strong impression here with her voice. She's very gentle and almost like maternal in the way she speaks, but there's a strength there, there's an inner strength and a confidence that befits a Jedi. So like when she's sharing scenes with like the more rough around the edges Brick and the kind of like, well, and Ellis as well, like she still kind of holds her own. She doesn't come across as meek just because she's like more gentle and calm. There's a real strength there, which I really appreciate. And I also really liked her conversation with Lama Su, because that really throws into sharp relief just how good an influence the Jedi have been on the clones, and how much the Jedi overall cared for the clones, and the tragedy that sets up regarding Order 66.
We see with Brick and the Kaminoans that they really don't value the clones as equal lives to other species in this episode. And Shakti is living proof that, especially with the Jedi, that they value them as equals and as lives worth protecting and as individuals, which I always really love getting to see stories like that. Domino Squad is not doing well in the training, and we are introduced, like we said, to our two bounty hunters, Brick and Ellis. First of all, again, the beauty of Star Wars here. I love how Ellis's name is spelled EL-LES, not like Ellis, like a normal name. You got to Star Warsify it. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Second, rant time here, guys. I went on a little bit of a tirade on Lot Dodd the other week because I don't care for him, and I went on a tirade about Zero the Hutt. Tirade number 3 here. Fuck Brick. Honestly. Oh my god, I hate this son of a bitch.
Yeah, he is he is a proper jerk. He really is.
That's me with Orn Free Talk.
Go through the screen and strangle this bastard. I put Brick as a prick in my notes because he is.
That's pretty good.
We've got to make that a hashtag.
I wonder what Cut Up's nickname was for Brick.
Yeah, I know.
We got to have the hashtag. Right, Brick is a prick. That's the hashtag for episode 4.
That is the that's the merch that we'll be launching soon, right there. Put that on a shirt.
I mean, I kind of like Brick in the sense in his function, because like you need someone like him in this scenario, because like Shakti is more of a nurturing presence, and Ellis is kind of the same. So you need someone like Brick to kind of like force the kind of development through with the clones, and I also kind of like the light and dark side thing of having him and Ellis there. They're almost like the dual nature of Star Wars bounty hunters represented. There's the more noble, thoughtful bounty hunters, and then there's the ones who just are incredibly cynical, and they aren't really.
This is a job for them.
Yeah, this is a job for me. Like for him, he's just like, oh, I want to get paid, so I don't care if these guys fail or not. Whereas Ellis is like, well, yeah, it reflects on us, so we should make sure that they succeed. And it's really it's actually, I mean, they're certainly arch characters, but I like them. I feel they're interesting, and I mean, if Bad Batch is going to carry on like bringing back more minor characters from the Clone Wars, I'd love to see like part of an episode showing us what they got up to next, especially now that the Camino is no more basically, and the clones are all been shipped out.
I'd love to see Crosshair just one shot him in the head. That's what I'd love to see.
Oh my gosh, that's
sweet
incredible.
Part that would redeem him in my eyes right there is that I don't like this guy. Who I do love though is 99.
It's been a long time coming.
Okay,
I like Brick's voice. I will say that.
I do like his voice, but I take back something I said about Cut Up having the best clone voice, because that is complete disrespect to Crosshair. That
is true.
He owns
that is true
entirely.
Yeah.
But Cut Up is great. But so is 99. I said if you don't like
99 is the
99,
goat.
I don't like you. He is beautiful, and every time he gets disrespected, I just got very upset. But maybe the best part of this episode was when they cut to the clone quarters and Cut Up is just, so I says to her, baby, you and me could really, and then one of them goes, you've never even met a girl. And I was dying when this happened. The
one that killed me.
I love how freaking comedic Cut Up is. I think he's hilarious, and I love how they just sounded so done with this shit. You've never even met a girl, because like, yeah, they've been in this base their whole life. But I think it was, I loved that scene so much. But they are not getting along. The group is in disarray. Echo keeps repeating shit by the book. Heavy is just done with everyone's shit. The group is not getting along well. But then we had a conversation with Lama Su and Shakti, which we talked about. They're talking about whether or not to cast aside Domino Squad. But there is something that they brought up about how the Kaminoans are possibly looking for a new donor for the clone DNA because of Jango Fett's death. And I don't believe they bring this up again throughout the series, which I think could have been an interesting arc, is maybe trying to find more donors for the clones, and then whether that be sabotaged by Dooku or something. It was something that they brought up like in passing, but I feel like they never discuss again, is what if we had other clones that weren't just Jango Fett? And obviously maybe that wasn't a part of the Palpatine's plan or anything. But that was very intriguing to hear them get brought up there. We see the training regiments. Bravo Squad is impressing everyone. And then here's another George Lucas Easter egg here. They're like, all right, the Citadel Challenge, version THX 1138. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there, Dave.
All right, George.
Get it?
We knew it was coming. We knew that was coming. Like, there's no way there wouldn't be like a THX 1138 reference. And it was very well done. I very much like the second time I watched it and I caught it. I literally did a fist pump in the air. I was like, yes. I've been waiting for that reference.
The best part is that they deliver the line as if like the clone is just looking straight into the camera as it's happening. Like, all right, version THX 1138. Get it? Because it's a movie George Lucas directed. I
get it.
Get it? Get the reference, guys. It's during this point in the episode, though, that I realized that it being called the Citadel Challenge is more foreshadowing for Echo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain that Clone Cadets has in hindsight, and that was another one. I'm like, Citadel. Oh no! It was. It just hit me like a ton of bricks, and that one was another one. Bravo Squad completely aced the Citadel Challenge, impressed the ARC Troopers. I love the armor for these ARC Troopers, by the way.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was literally gonna like say, "Oh, can we take a moment to say how sick the ARC Troopers look?" I mean, I've always
they're
loved ARC
great.
Troopers
The
because, like,
design is fantastic.
yeah, like with the double pauldrons as opposed to like the one that you usually see with Clone Commanders, and like the packs, which are very much like the Sand Trooper packs in A New Hope, but more compact. They just look really cool, and I love the voice that D. Bradley Baker gives to Commander Colt, I think is his name. Like he's confident. He's very similar to Rex, but almost like supremely confident in a way that's like the word fails me, but he's really cool. They're all really cool.
Carry themselves in like a confident but earned way, like not arrogant.
Yes, because they're the ideal. They're what the cadets are all striving towards. They're what the cadets want to be.
Yeah, I just brought an ARC Trooper Black Series figure the other week, and I can't get enough of these armor, and especially when we get later in the timeline when we see like Fives and Echo and their ARC armor. It's so beautiful, and I'm obsessed with these looks. I do love though when they're talking to like, all right, Bravo Squad A. Sorry, next up is Domino Squad, and Cole's like, and how are they? And Ellis just kind of goes like, and then but they get in their head and they fail the challenge because they make the mistake. Heavy kind of breaks formation. That's his theme throughout this episode, as he kind of goes in his own direction. And Droid Bay gets injured, and they leave him behind, and that immediately leads to them failing. Brick wants them sent to maintenance. Ellis refuses to give up on them. Shock T gives them another chance because we see Fives and Echo request a transfer to Bravo Squad. And that's kind of like, imagine if that did happen. Like, would their futures be changed at all? And
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know what way, but their futures would be changed.
Do we see Bravo Squad again? Or are they just in this episode? Like, I'm trying
just
to
in this episode.
I didn't know if
I'm pretty sure they
in like another series or
I'm
not. But
I'm pretty sure they're only in this episode, and he probably would have, because like if they don't stay with Domino Squad, they don't get deployed to the Rishi Moon to guard the base in Rookies. So yeah, so
the
they don't meet Rex. Yeah, exactly. So Shark T, in a sense, did them a favor, I guess.
Yeah, because I think
Shark T saved the Republic.
Yes.
She was.
Yep. Well, okay. Shark T saved the Republic as much as she could.
Yes.
So.
She was one of the ones that realized their true potential. And I think that's another. She just refused. Ellis also, but Shark T really refused to give up on them, and it pays off at the end in a really beautiful moment. Brick confronts Cut Up. Again, I have fuck Brick in my notes. Beats the hell out of him.
I love the name. I love the oh, I could think of one for you right now, sir. Dying.
It's like
great.
Cut Up's like got no chill. He's like I don't like you. I'll just make that clear. I'll just make that very clear to you.
He was like, oh yeah, you're not cut up for it. He's like, all right, you gave me my name, sir. It's Cut Up.
Cut Up. And he does that funny little laugh where you're like, where he's very clearly just like throwing Brick's shit right back in his face, and you can tell that he got a reaction as well, because Brick is like, you'll fail one way or another, and it's like, oh, okay. Because you think initially that Brick is like, oh, he's just doing the hard man routine. He deep down he wants them to succeed. He's just pushing them. And then it's like, no, he really is.
He hates them.
He really is just a cynical son of a gun who just wants to be paid.
Yep.
And we see him get like slightly like eating his words at the end when he seems a bit impressed. But he does not, like, he just straight up beats the hell out of Cut Up here. Which I'm like, just knock him out, man.
It's like, where's the supervisors?
Exactly.
Like,
well, they had to do it in like the shadiest corner of Tapoka City when this happened.
Yeah.
But
Cut Up should have filed a complaint to the
Should've, yeah.
supervisor. Yeah, like
Shakti wouldn't
come on.
Shakti would have not dealt with that at all. She would have been like, nope, get out, you're gone. And then we see Heavy trying to leave. He's fed up. He doesn't think they're going to work. And then 99 stops him. And I first of all, the fact that Heavy trying to go in his own direction like he is in the training all the time. Love it. Love how he's just stuck in his own way. And then this is the we're nothing but a bad batch. All right, gotcha. But I just, again, this scene is so much why I love 99 and so much why I love the Clone Trooper episodes. And the scene I was talking about was 99 keeps calling him Heavy and is like, stop calling me that. We're just numbers. And 99 goes, not to me. To me, you always had a name.
Oh,
and
that's such a heartwarming line.
I came close, man. That was...
It felt like
I was crying.
That just felt like Dave Filoni himself like wrote that line. It just feels so, and I mean that in the best possible way. It really feels like that's channeling how the series and Dave Filoni feel about these clones and how they feel about them as characters. It's just such a heartwarming moment.
And then afterwards,
that's why 99 is a goat clone.
When he comes back and he's like, all right, yeah, and by the way, the name's Heavy. I'm like, fist pumping in the air right there. It was such a beautiful scene. And I just love, again, how they all embrace their names and who they are throughout the episode. And again, Dave, you're doing this. Get me immediately attached. It's so sad knowing what ends up happening to every single one of them. And this is why I loving Star Wars is nothing but pain, because you get attached to these characters, and then they all just horrible ends to all. At least Echo's still alive, but at what cost? He's more machine than man now. It's just, but this reinvigoration, whether it be the pep talk from 99 or Cut Up getting pissed at Brick. They're all working together now. They're impressing the judges. Even Brick seems a little bit like impressed, but he's like, we're very early in the training. And then they go to start the Citadel part of the training arc, and they notice that their ascension cables are gone. And Brick's like, wonder what happened there. And Ellis wants the test to end, but Shakti's like, let's see how they adapt. And
I mean, I think she knew that they were gonna succeed.
Yeah, she knew
because
she knew. But at first I was like, well, that's kind of out of character. But I think again, as it came, she knew that they were going to complete the test no matter what, because they have some inspiration there, and they improvise, they pass. And it's a great moment. Like I said, it's a great fist pump, Star Wars celebration moment. The line by Shakti, they're perhaps the finest soldiers I've ever seen. It's just picture perfect ending there. Speaking of picture perfect ending, it was so heartwarming, that goodbye between Heavy and 99. But then, Dave, Heavy gives 99 his medal, and he says, "I'll have to come back. I'll have to get that back from you when I come back to Camino." I'd like to remind everyone that this episode was made after Rookies, so Dave knew. Dave knew that Heavy eats it, and he does this on purpose.
Oh, for sure,
bastard. Yes.
Oh, it's very sad. Very sad moment.
I'll have to come back and get that from you. I'm like, Dave, no.
Oh.
What are you doing? But the ceremony was a great moment. Kevin Kiner's score at the end is just so great. I feel like we haven't talked about his score enough the last couple episodes. It's just a really great end of an episode moment. And I love this episode. It's one of my favorite clone episodes. I love how it focuses on all the clones' characters and how they grow and develop and become a functioning squad throughout this episode. It's a great underdog story, and I I love it, and it leads to an all-time fantastic episode, which we are about to get to. What did you guys think about this one? Because I love this episode.
Clone Cadets, I haven't watched that as much as Rookies, but like, yeah, it's a really, really good prequel. It really kind of like it, like you said, it basically like establishes a lot of like it fleshes all of these clones out that we've got, that we some of whom don't even get that much time in Rookies.
Yeah, like Droid Bait barely gets anything
exactly.
in Rookies.
And it adds some weight to seemingly throwaway scenes in that episode, which is already good enough as it is. So to get more character with these seemingly disposable clones kind of shows, oh no, they're not disposable, and it reinforces kind of the theme of like clones as individuals. So whenever a clone dies in the show from this kind of point forward, it tends to feel more like an impact and more like a sadness, because you aren't watching like a battle droid, something that was made and is artificial get destroyed. You are watching an actual being lose their life early, so it actually feels impactful where it didn't previously. So yeah, it's really cool. It was really cool getting to see them train, which we didn't get to see in Attack of the Clones, which was a shame, because like this is a pivotal part of their development. You know, this is literally what they were bred for, as like grim as that is.
Yeah, and I feel like so much of this episode is taken and used more in Bad Batch.
Especially with the
like
training,
training and stuff. That's a big moment of the first and the finale for that show. And I just love Camino episodes in general, and clone episodes, and
same.
It's great. But
Camino rules in terms of its aesthetic. It's one of my favorite planets in Star Wars, cool mainly because of Topoka City.
Exactly. But now we get to the granddaddy of them all, Rookies. Directed by Justin Ridge, written by Stephen Melching. The moral is the best confidence builder is experience. And then the episode starts, and because we just finished Clone Cadets, and then I'm like, hold on, are my speakers shot again? It's like, no, it's just the weird Season 1 Clone Wars fanfare again. And I'm just like, when are we going to get to the normal one, man? It just bothers me every single time. I feel like I'm watching an unfinished version of the episode. Before we get into this one, I did this last time, but there were some behind-the-scenes moments on Wikipedia that I wanted to write down. So twice in this episode, the word hell is used as an expletive, which, again, growing up on Cartoon Network, I was shocked when this first came out.
That was wild.
10-year-old me seeing a clone go, what the hell is that? I'm like, what?
I was, dude, same. I was the exact same way. I was like, what is this?
What is this?
This is weird.
What is this? It's like the show is earning its PG rating. Apparently, when it was aired at a replay before the next arc premiered, which was Downfall of a Droid, the word was censored due to complaints from parents. But during its showings on TNT, which I didn't even realize that Clone Wars ever aired on TNT. I know it aired on Adult Swim and Toonami, but I don't remember it ever being on TNT. But apparently, it did from January or March to 2009, so I must have just been too young. But it wasn't censored there, and it was not censored on the Disney Plus version, which is what I watched this episode on, and I'm assuming everyone else did. So, again, I had that moment during this episode where, like, where one of the clones says it, and I'm like, I'm watching some real shit right here, man. This is gonna be good. But getting to the episode proper, Domino Squad are now all rookie clones. They got their white shiny armor, and they're stationed on the Rishi Moon. Let me just say that the episode starts, and they're listening to this like radio station. I love that shit, man. Just little details like that. I just like how the clones are just bored listening to some random like techno station.
Arm wrestling and stuff.
Yeah. It's just great.
There's like a really funny technical glitch that I noticed with Fives, because Fives starts off with like a full beard, and And then later
Okay,
on,
so I wasn't going crazy.
yes, and then he has the distinctive goatee.
I didn't know who that was.
Well, Cut Up had a beard in
and
this episode too.
yeah, so I think
So-
maybe they got the names confused, but I just think it's to me it's really funny because it really my headcanon now is that Fives had a full beard, and then
And then just shaved it.
after he met Rex and Cody, he was like, damn, I if I'd have known they were here, I would have shaved, and he just goes and shaves when they retake the base.
Because I pointed out how, because I didn't notice the Fives thing, but I definitely noticed Cut Up had the beard. I'm like, damn, my man's looking sharp here. Got the Irish accent. Got the nice trimmed beard going. I didn't even notice it. But I just love these little clone moments. They're bored, and then some stuff ends up happening. We cut to Anakin and Obi-Wan. I like how we had some references to the episodes we just watched, which were the Malevolence arc. Grievous is still missing. They mentioned the Balmora system, which we touched on in those episodes as well, which I always love even early on, how we're getting some continuity references here. It makes me feel like we're not just watching some like episodic show. And even back then, it made me realize, okay, like this isn't just like some random thing that has the Star Wars name on it. This is actually Star Wars that we're watching here, which I always appreciate. Another thing I noticed is, again, and I noticed this during the Clone Wars movie, is that James Arnold Taylor kind of voices Obi-Wan a bit different here. So I got the sense that like this was one of the first ones they did the voices for when the show started production.
Yeah.
Even Matt Lanner kind of voices Anakin a bit different, because I noticed in the earlier episodes he tries to do a bit of a Hayden Christensen impression, but then later on he adapts his own style. And I feel like we're still kind of getting them like trying to warm up to how they voice their characters in these early episodes. But even like the Malevolence, I feel like James Arnold Taylor, like, okay, that's the Obi-Wan voice I remember. But here it's a bit more stilted. The cadence is a bit different. It's a bit deeper. So stuff like that I appreciated. Rex and Cody check in with the two Jedi. Obi-Wan says, "Good man, that Cody." And I'm like, God damn it, Dave. Stop doing this. Just twist the knife further. You're doing it on purpose at this point. But
Absolutely.
I get hyped every time we get a Rex and Cody episode, because
Oh, dude, yes.
I love the two of them working together, and
they both channel. What's cool is like this episode kind of makes it more explicit in like the barbs, the jokey barbs that Anakin and Obi-Wan throw at each other. But Rex and Cody really do. They really have kind of like imprinted on their Jedi generals in a way, because Cody is more kind of like rules and regulation following kind of guy, whereas Rex is more of the unorthodox dude, the dude who will think on his feet and is something of like a rogue amongst the clones, really, the one who kind of gets to be like the Han Solo of the clones, compared to like Cody, who's more straightforward. And might I say, Rex gets an amazing showing in this episode. He has so many good moments.
So cool.
He's so cool. He's so cool in this episode, and he also gets some hilarious moments as well.
There's that great convo with Anakin and Obi-Wan later, where he's like, "I see your clone takes orders as well as you do." I'm like,
yeah. Perhaps Cody is boring Rex with standard procedure and protocol.
I love the two of them so much. And again, this is like you said, this was one of the first episodes where I realized how similar Rex and Cody are to Anakin and Obi-Wan, which is why I'm saying, please, 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 Cody and Bad Batch Season 2, I need it. Just give it to me right now. Please.
Yes.
So there's
Rex and Cody reunification in Bad Batch Season 2.
I need something. People are saying Cody and Kenobi, that would be great, but I want to see him and Rex meet again, because we don't see them see each other at all after the Bad Batch arc, and I would really like to see the two of them either work together or go against each other one last time. I think would be great. It was one of the first things when I did my Bad Batch Season 2 Hopes article on the SWE site. That was one of the things I was really hoping that we would see. And I'm still sticking to that. But we see a meteor shower. But it's actually not a meteor shower, it's commando droids. And let me just say that these things are so cool and so scary in this episode. And it really makes me wish that they were in the prequels proper. Because they would have looked so cool in those movies. And I get it, like the prequels had the Attack of the Clones at the big reveal where the B-2 battle droids come out and they start shooting at Mace Windu. I wish that we had a similar thing on Revenge of the Sith where on Grievous's ship they just get encountered by like commando droids or something. I think that would have been really cool because they are so cool and we don't see them at all in the prequels. And I think I just wish George came up with the idea a little earlier because I think we would have gotten some really cool scenes.
Yeah, like they are super cool, and I think what's neat about their design is that they are, like Dave Filoni talks about this in the behind the scenes, that they intentionally tried to make them an amalgam of both the B1s and the B2s. So there's a bit of both there, and they really are intimidating. They feel really threatening compared to like the regular battle droids. But what's also quite kind of cool is that they aren't invincible. Like they may be able to take more punishment, they may be more deadly in combat, but they make mistakes as well. Like when they do the comlink thing and the fact that they're so awkward, it's really funny, which is nuts considering how threatening they were before. Like the droid talk, the droid talking through the comlink to Rex and Cody is literally a reversal of the Han Solo scene from A New Hope, and then the utter hilarity of like that droid in the clone costume, which inexplicably has 5 fingers, even though the droids have 3. But yeah, we'll let that one go. The droid trying to distract them both, and then the droid attack flare from Heavy comes up, and then Rex, without even thinking, just shoots the disguised droid right in the face. It's so hilarious. Like just split second thinking. It's just brilliant. Like Rex is if in doubt, shoot the clone.
It's I love it.
But again,
there's a lot to love in this episode.
There's so much to love in this
definitely.
episode. We get, again, like I said, Clone Cadets is I loved it, but it hurts because in this episode, every character that we grew to love throughout that episode, we just see die. Droid Bait immediately gets just destroyed by these commando droids, which again,
off screen as well.
I know, off screen. I'm like, oh, he's fighting, and then he's just dead. I'm like, okay, cool. Then they kill Sarge, the silver fox of a clone, as I like to call him.
Very silvery eyebrows.
Very silvery eyebrows. Honestly, again, I talk about earning the PG rating when they just gang up on him and shoot him while he's down. I was like, oh my god, like that was violent even for like this. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But we see Ventress is spying on Camino. I think this is hinting at ARC troopers, but I'm not entirely sure. But we see Grievous again. They're looking to destroy Camino so clone production can be stopped, and if they were able to take control of the base, that's what would have happened here. So it is up to Fives, Echo, Cut Up, and Heavy to save the day once Rex and Cody get there. Again, they're like, okay, so they're out here, and it's like, oh, there's eels. I've never seen an eel before, and then immediately Cut Up just gets...
Oh, it's so gnarly. Poor Cut Up, indeed.
That
one
hurt me really bad because I loved him in Clone Cadets, and even early in this episode, and he just gets killed for a gag. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
it's like it's such
there's no eels out here immediately.
Like,
it's such dark humor.
Dave, he can't keep getting away with this.
It's like
Echo's like, oh yeah, that was an eel.
Geonosis episode where they're on the gunship and then the clones just explode. I don't remember what the line is, but it's one of those moments like that.
Yeah, that's why we don't go outside.
Then we got what the hell was that we talked about?
That's an eel.
Yeah,
like Echo is just kind of savage in this episode.
Just watch his brother die. Yeah.
One-liners.
That's an eel. Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, and also, again, Rex, super badass. That same eel comes out, one-shots it instantly.
Oh my god, I screamed. That was
Like what?
that was great.
It's great. It is.
Wild.
Yeah. It is so. It's very cool. Rex is like a bona fide badass in this episode.
I couldn't tell which one of them said it was either Rex or Cody, but we got what I think is our second. I have a bad feeling about this. Since
It
we
was
started
Cody.
It was Cody. Okay, I wrote down Rex, so I guess I just watched the scene wrong. But we get that scene from the Clone Wars Season 7 trailer when they first announced that it was coming back.
Dude,
the name's
I
Rex, but you can call
rewatched
me
that
Captain
trailer
and Sir.
because of that scene.
Like,
Oh, I
as soon
forgot
as
that
it
was in the
started, I was like,
trailer.
"Oh, it's this scene!" And I got so excited because the
I
way
got-
they
I-
used that in the trailer is perfect.
I started crying. I was like, I need to rewatch this trailer now.
That trailer is so good, by the way. I remember where I was when I saw the news for the first time, and it was
Dude, I was at work and I almost punched a coworker in excitement.
because literally like 2 weeks before that, I was talking like with my friend, like I think they're gonna. Something tells me when Disney Plus comes, they're gonna do like a Siege of Mandalore movie or something, and then 2 weeks later, Clone Wars Season 7 got announced, and I was
So crazy.
ecstatic. I love this so much.
I really hope someday they do the unfinished
I hope,
animated
man.
arcs.
I
Oh,
hope,
for sure.
even if it's just like one-offs or something,
Oh yeah.
they would be. I would love to see them again.
Yeah, Rex's Top Gun arc in particular is one I'd like to see.
That would be so cool.
I need Rex, I need Yoda with the Wookiees, just all of it really.
Yes. I even want to see. I mean, you can still watch it, but I even want to see like Crystal Crisis fully animated. Like,
Yes, definitely.
I think it would just be really cool to see. And I get why they chose the two arcs they chose to adapt with Clone Wars Season 7 before we got to the Siege of Mandalore, obviously. Because one is a Rex arc and one is an Ahsoka arc. But, and again, I love what we got, but I wish we got to see more of those. But who knows? Maybe we'll get it in the future. Crossing my fingers, because people still love Clone Wars. 14 years later, people still talk about it. I see it every day on my Twitter feed. So,
And it's because of episodes like this,
yeah,
for sure.
it's got staying power.
Definitely. I mean, it's this early in the show's run compared to like other episodes that are like so popular, and it holds up, and I think it holds up because of how like it's fun, but it's also kind of like a classic Star Wars
It's
story
a
because
classic
you've
Star
got
Wars story.
yeah, because you've got these underdog clones, these rookies who were even though they learned to work together as a team, were rushed into combat earlier than they should have been, having to deal with like these way more advanced droids than most clones have to deal with, and then legions of normal battle droids.
Legions of battle droids, they're cut off. They can't contact the Jedi.
Yeah, so
and
they have to improvise,
they
which
gotta
is like
earn
leads to some great moments.
Rex and Cody's respect, because he sees the three of them, and Rex is like, "Oh, look, Cody, we got a batch of shinies here." And
Yeah,
I just, again, we talked about how cool Rex is in this episode. I love his plan with the Roger. I love, that was
fantastic.
holding a droid head up to the camera. I love
Something wrong
that
with your
his
vocal
confidence-
modulator. Roger,
Yeah.
Roger.
Take off your helmet. Let me see your faceplate.
And then the doors open. Roger, and then just
Oh,
shoots
it's
them
so
all.
cool. It's
that was-
great.
That was badass.
It's so
love
cool.
that
Man
moment.
is so.
It's a
good.
top. That's definitely a top 10 Rex
That's
moment.
that's like on par with like boring conversation anyway. Like it's just so cool
Yeah.
and like funny.
It's great.
And then like he faces off against the lead droid who has a machete. And
I
he just looks at it.
literally screamed,
breaks
"Oh
his
shit!"
neck.
when the droid pulled out the machete. I was not. I've seen this episode like 5 times, but even then, I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like I was not expecting the droid to pull out a goddamn knife.
I wish I could forget this episode so I could watch it for
Watch it
like the
again for the
quote unquote
first time.
first time.
Yeah. The commando droids are really cool. I mean, the whole thing is really fun as well, and like just like it even gets even better when we get to like the big finale when the normal battle droids arrive and they come up with that like plan. You know, and I feel for that poor gonk droid that they were like pushing along when they come up with the plan to explode the base, because it's like that poor guy. He's just walking along. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't realize he's about to get like hooked up to some liquid Domino and be like blown sky high.
There's another
Poor dude.
great moment that I love. I think it was between Echo and Heavy, where Echo was like, "Yeah, I got that one," and Heavy was like "Yeah, like hell you did." I'm like,
Yeah.
and
then like Heavy just gloats at the like destroyed battle droid. Not so tough now, are you, Sparky? It's really good. Like the personality.
I think they called them tweezers at one point in this episode.
They do. They
I
do call them
popped for that
tweezers.
so much.
Wow. I did not notice that.
I was like, did they just call the commando droids tweezers? Just I again, one thing I have learned to love, or I mean, just love more than I already did, is just clone terminology and lingo in these episodes. I love how they have their own like war jargon thing. It's just I love it.
Just gives it a layer of authenticity. Like it gives it more of a wartime feeling, giving them all their own like jargon for the droids and like all their nicknames and stuff. It creates a culture which is it's engrossing enough like that people start to care about them all.
Even ones for their own, like having shiny be like a derogatory term for like rookie clones that haven't like experienced combat yet, and we get to see how they Echo 5s and Heavy shed that term in this episode. One thing I always forget is Echo has like the hand on his armor until like I see it, and I feel like his like binoculars on his helmet disappeared a couple times in this episode.
I think possibly,
but that's just animation errors. They happen. It didn't distract me. I just noticed it a couple times.
Wish he'd kept the handprint for Bad Batch, like because he has that handprint all the way through his appearances in the show, and then they don't give it him back for his Bad Batch design. I just wish he kept it because it's rather like it. I mean, before that it was kind of iconic to the character, but that's just a minor.
I love Echo's like ARC Trooper look too. So, yeah, I mean, I like his Bad Batch look, but it's he's got my least favorite of like the 5, I will say. But I guess that's just because he's like a new recruit. But I mean, I do love Echo though a lot. But we see the fleet approaching. Cody changes the plans to destroy the outpost itself, and we get honestly. I mean, I talked about how Cut Up got me, and we talked about Commander Keeley earlier in the series. But Heavy has, I think, the first true, like, really, really sad clone death in the whole series. And it's such a great moment, too.
Yeah, because it's just overall, like, Heavy in this episode is definitely the star. Like, because Rex is probably the scene stealer, but Heavy is the star. Heavy is the one who kind of like pays off, because we've talked about like how episodes like Ambush and the first part of the Malevolence trilogy, like they teed up the idea of the clones as individuals, and the clones in there were like, they were fun, but they had kind of muted personalities in comparison to some of the more like bigger ones like Rex, who weren't in those episodes. So then you get Heavy, a character like you come to care about and find funny and engaging, and then he has to like give his life, and you're suddenly like, oh, I'm really sad he's gone, and then it really pays off that idea, because now suddenly you really have come to care about a clone trooper as a character, a single clone trooper, not just like a group of them.
Yeah, and chronologically, this was the first episode to do that.
Exactly.
A clone, like, because we see a bunch of clones die in this episode, but Heavy is the one that really hits, and when he's like, I know what I have to do, and you hear Rex and Cody on the other end saying, like, no, Heavy, what are you doing?
Yeah, and the way it's done too, with like the way the audio, the way that the music stops, and you just hear the heartbeat, and then all the ambient noise just like kind of goes, so you can hear his final line. It's just really good filmmaking.
Like, did we take
I love
prisoners?
his final line.
Oh, it's so good. And his line when the door opens too, when he's hefting the rotary cannon, which I love. It's one of the coolest clone weapons. Yeah, like open up.
In particular, looks so cool with that rotary gun.
Yeah, it's just such a good one-liner when they open the door. Didn't say please.
Yeah,
Love this.
It's
man.
just it's so cool. It's like proper like original trilogy style one-liners, and I love it.
And this is a death that has stuck throughout the show, because not only do we see it referenced in ARC Troopers when we get to that, but also as late as the final season when Rex talks about Heavy's death. It is one of the defining moments of these clones' experiences. Of even 3 years into the war, they still remember the one mission they had with Heavy, and how much his sacrifice meant to them. And we even see that with how Anakin and Obi-Wan honored his sacrifice at the end. I thought it was all just a great moment, and which made this a great war story and a great Star Wars story. The outpost blowing up tips off the Jedi that there was some separatist shenanigans going on. The fleet arrives, Grievous immediately retreats, and Fives and Echo are inducted into the 501st. And they get more medals, and it just reminds me that Heavy never got to get his medal back from 99.
Pain.
Major
All I know
pain.
is pain.
All he knew was pain.
I love this moment at the end with Fives and Echo. Like,
Darn it, Dave.
It's like, we failed our mission, sir. We don't deserve this. And Rex says they earned it. Anakin says, I'd be honored to fight with you anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, and he means that as well.
Yeah.
Like especially with the Malevolence art, you get the sense that Anakin means that and like genuinely respects them and their sacrifice.
And then seeing how he ended up fighting so many battles with them, it's just a great moment, and just so getting stuff like this early on in the show, I love it. This, like I said, it's one of my favorite Star Wars stories of all time. I think it's probably, I would say that I would probably put the Umbara arc ahead of this, but it's maybe the most iconic clone episode of the series. And to me, it was the first episode of the show that really could show how great the show could truly be. Because there's been some fun episodes we've had. The Malevolence arc was fun. Ambush was great. But this was like the first one that this could truly be like, this can be on par with some of the movies. And this was easily my favorite arc that we've had so far. I love these two episodes. And Rookies in particular, I think, is just... It's one that stood the test of time, and it influenced so many stories after it. And it really was a great step towards making the clones their own characters that you can follow. Because the fact that it's just them for the most part, like we get Anakin and Obi-Wan, but that's for like 2 minutes max. And we just follow Rex, Cody, and Domino Squad for the rest of the episode, and it works, and it's so good. So
yeah.
I can't say enough good things about it.
Same. Like, it's probably one of the Clone Wars episodes that I've rewatched the most overall because of just how fun and like quotable it is, and how pivotal it winds up being to like the overall like series in general. Like the fact that it holds up amongst some of the like later, more technically advanced and arguably more complex episodes. It just shows, it's just a testament, I think, to its like the way it's all brought together, the way it's written, the way the characters just kind of like come to life and are like bursting with personality, despite all having the same face for the most part. It's just really good. It's that kind of like Star Wars magic, and I love it.
I agree. Connor, any last thoughts before we wrap things up?
This is just a solid episode, man. This is definitely one of my top 10 Clone Wars episodes. I'm starting to figure that out now as we rewatch this show.
I think when we get to the end, I'm gonna do a like actual top 10. Like
same.
After watching,
I might do a top 10 single episode ranking and a top 10 arcs ranking.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing. So that'll be a nice thing to get to when we get to the end. But we got a long way to go. But this was a really special one. Are we all in agreement that Rookies was our favorite of the ones we discussed this week?
Yeah, I would say
nothing against Clone Cadets,
No
because I adore that episode, but Rookies is just, it's on another level. So
it is.
And that wraps things up for our talk on Domino Squad meaty episode this week. Got a lot about Celebration, a lot about these, but that's what happens when you get some really great episodes. So next time you see us will be our Celebration recap special. And of course, we'll be having Obi-Wan Kenobi content spliced in between there as well as those episodes come out. But then the next arc we will be discussing, and when we get to that, will be the Downfall of a Droid arc, which is the one where R2-D2 gets lost. I have not revisited this since my first watch of the show. So,
this is going to be an interesting one.
This will be an interesting one. I don't
remember this off the top of my head, so I'll be intrigued.
I do not have positive feelings about this arc. I'll be interested to see if that changes upon my rewatch.
Let's see. I don't remember liking it that much either, but we'll get to it. I just remember Anakin really loving R2 being like a big portion of that. But when we get to that, it'll be nice to revisit that and see if our thoughts change. So that'll be it for this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, Kenobi content will be coming soon. Where can the good people find you?
So they can find me Twitter at DepaBanana. I just talk Star Wars and I simp, and that's about it. And other random thoughts here and there.
That's that describes this show, honestly. We talk Star Wars and we simp.
You can also find me co-hosting over at the Nerd Academy podcast, specifically our Star Wars show, Knights of the Nerd Republic. If you ever feel so inclined, my co-host, Jared, will be running a Celebration stream to help just provide coverage on it all 4 days of Star Wars Celebration, and I will be joining in on three of 4 of those days, so I'll be very excited for that. But check out our other content that we have over there. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, really. And you can find me writing articles and stories super slowly at sweditorig.com. I work with a wonderful team of creatives where we we discuss, but we also write Star Wars fan stories that are more than just Star Wars fan stories. We make it part of the overall quote-unquote canon of Star Wars. We just fit our own stories into it, while just not really contradicting anything that Lucasfilm has put out thus far. So there's a lot of stories there already published. They're pretty freaking good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Make sure to check out those streams as well. And Don, how about you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Donovan Mead. I also talk Star Wars with the occasional smattering of politics, Doctor Who, Marvel, that kind of thing. You can also find me on Instagram, Donovan_McComish, no caps, where I just, I mostly post stuff about my cats, occasionally like books I'm reading. And I also, like Connor, I write articles and I'm developing stories for sweditorig.com. Like you said, the stories there are really cool in my opinion. It's a really cool group of people that are working on the stories together. We try to not contradict the canon and tell these really involved stories in the margins that we hope are really appealing to everyone. So yeah, that's cool.
All right, and you can follow me on Twitter at Starlight Andrew. You can also follow me on TikTok, same username. I am, I believe, 7 away from 300. So let's get to 300, guys. We can do it. And you can also follow the podcast itself on Twitter at ForTheRepubPod and on Instagram at ForTheRepublicPod for all your further updates on the podcast. We gained a lot of followers this week, so I'm very excited about that. Hopefully it keeps going up, and hopefully more of you guys stick around and join us on this fun talking about Star Wars and the world of animation. So we'll see you here after Celebration. It's going to be a great time. Until then, though, as always, for light and life, and may the Force be with you always.